and we work with over 40 partner agencies and organizations in order to make Evanston the most equitable place it can be. So before we do anything, before we move on, it is our favorite producer's birthday. And we're gonna stop, we're gonna come off mute, we're gonna wish him happy birthday because we wouldn't have a show like we have without it. So without him. So happy birthday, Mr. Man. I got my birthday.
Happy birthday.
Birthday.
Happy birthday.
Birthday.
We love you, Mr. Man. We
Beautiful,
love you, Mr.
beautiful,
Man.
beautiful. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you so much for spending your birthday with us. So now, down to the business at hand. We are here again with another wonderful resource. I am so excited about the Emory Williams Black Men's Academy. This is exciting. We are really moving on up, y'all. This is great news. I know they've been making the circuit. Some of you guys may have heard about them. If you haven't, phone a friend, tell them to get on Facebook. You can also catch us on different fronts and listen live. But whatever you do, come on here. And thank you guys for coming.
Good morning. Good morning. Thank you so much, Ms. Kim. Good morning, advocates. Thank you for being here. So yes, we are excited about today's guest. So we have Dr. Ruben Howard, who is the Director of Workforce Development and Strategic Partnerships at Oakton Community College. And we have Mario Borha, who is the chair of the Black Male Academy. So they are going to talk with us today a little bit about the Black Male Academy, and we'll have some questions too. So go ahead and get started.
Good morning, Carmen and Kim, and thank you for giving us this platform to talk today about the Emory Williams Academy for Black Men at Oakton Community College. We are excited to share this opportunity with the community and also let all of the advocates know about this great opportunity for African-American men at Oakton Community College. So today, myself, along with my colleague, the endowed chair of the Academy, Mario Borha, will be giving us the presentation today. So Mario is going to share his screen. We have some information that we're going to be giving you today.
Yeah, we're just having a slight technical issue, so I'm going to share my screen in 1 second. But good morning, everyone. It's my pleasure to join you here this morning. As my colleague, Dr. Howard said, my name is Mario Borha, and I'm excited to share with you our presentation to talk more about the Academy. And I believe I still am disabled.
Mr. Mann, are you able to help us out?
Yeah, it should be good now. Should be good now. I'm sorry.
Oh, perfect. Thank you, Mr. Mann.
You got it.
And again, happy birthday to you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, Dr. Howard, are you seeing my screen?
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
So if you can advance the slide. So as Carmen mentioned, I'm Ruben Howard, the Director of Community Engagement in this role. And again, Mario Borha, he's the endowed chair of the Emory Williams Academy for Black Men. And what I'm going to do is just talk about how did we get here? How did we get to the Emory Williams Academy for Black Men? Well, the first thing that we did, we wanted to listen to the community. We wanted to hear what the community thoughts were, and also what could we offer to the community. And so what we did, we conducted several focus groups with various stakeholders in the Evanston-Skokie community with current students. And from those focus groups, we got several takeaways, including building trust. And that's very important when we're talking about building relationships with the community and also with Oakton Community College, is that we need to build more trust in the community. Another takeaway that we gathered was that we need to communicate what Oakton's value. In some cases, everyone may not be familiar with the value of community colleges and how we can better communicate that value to our community partners. Also, we want to make sure that we create a welcome environment. It's important that when students want to attend Oakton Community College, there's a process and procedure that they must go through to attend along the way. So we want to make sure not only to help them along through that process, but also to help them when they actually are admitted to Oakton and are Oakton students. So that welcoming environment. And so we listen to the community, and those are some of the takeaways that we got from those particular focus groups. So today we're going to talk about the Emory Williams Academy. We're going to give an overview. We're going to talk about the eligibility, program costs, some of the student services for scholars, some of the programs, cohort courses, and then how do we support our scholars? We're also going to talk about how do these scholars get started? How do you get started in the Emory Williams Academy for Black Men? And then we're going to talk a little bit about, if you want to hear more, some community information nights. So who was Emory Williams? If you didn't know who Emory Williams was, the late Emory Williams served on the Oakton Community College Board of Trustees from 2003 to 2009. Emory Williams was the first African-American trustee at Oakton Community College. He also served in many capacities from 1967 to 1994 at Evanston Township High School. He was the head of the school's vocational education program. What I've learned about Emory just from talking to people in the community and people that knew him, he did play a pivotal role in laying the foundation for the anti-racist institution Oakton continues to build, but he also believed in the power of education and how that could transform lives. And he was also a passionate advocate for access and opportunity. Our academy is named in his honor, basically because of all the things that I mentioned above, but also he was a leader who made an enormous impact, both at Oakton and the greater Evanston community. So you may ask, well, what is the Emory Williams Academy? Now that I've talked to you and told you who Emory Williams was, we also, well, what is the Emory Williams Academy for Black Men? It is a brotherhood of scholars. We want to make sure that the men that are in this program understood that they're a brotherhood. They're a brotherhood of scholars working together to achieve their objectives while they're at Oakton Community College, whether that's a certificate or an associate's degree. And how can we ensure that they do that? We have a team of professional and culturally competent faculty and staff that are going to be working with these scholars all throughout their academic experience, both inside and outside of the classroom. We want to make sure that these men that are in this program have both intellectual and social capital to be able to achieve those objectives. We want to also make sure that the Academy provides the best of the Oakton experience. So they know that each step along the journey, they are always supported and never alone. And again, that's very important that each step of the journey, there's someone there to help them prior to them entering the Academy, to help them, and also while they're in the Academy, and also their opportunities after they finish.
So thank you, Dr. Howard. So I now have an opportunity to talk a little bit more about who we're prioritizing, who we're welcoming into the Academy, and then some of the programs that we're going to be offering. And I also want to just say that this is kind of a lot of information. So at any point, if you want to interrupt us and either ask questions or jump in, please feel free. I mean, there's a lot here. So who are we going to prioritize? We want to put this in the language of prioritizing because we really want everyone to apply. I mean, if you are a first-year student to Oakton, so if this is your first time at Oakton, or if you took a class and then kind of took some time off and then came back again, we would also welcome you. And all you have to do is self-identify as a Black man. So a first-year student who self-identifies as a Black man, and we encourage you to apply to the Academy. We are prioritizing Evanston and Skokie because there's a large pool of students that we believe would benefit from the programming at Oakton. And there's a large number of students, a large number of potential scholars that we would love to have on campus. And there's also, there's just a need for us to do more in the Evanston community, as we heard from our focus groups. So for all those reasons, if you're from Evanston and Skokie, we definitely want you to apply. We want you to apply to the Academy. But anyone who lives or works in District 535, you are eligible to apply. And even if you're from Chicago or if you are coming from another country, again, apply. We will work with you on a case-by-case basis, and we will make sure that we fill this cohort We're targeting a number of 25, but we'll see where we are when we get there.
Pause for a second, Mario.
Of course, of course.
So I have a quick question about the information you just shared, and then I want to open it up to Jamie and Amber and see if they have any questions or comments at this point too. So is there an age range for men to join this academy?
The beauty is no, there's no age range. We want everyone to apply. So all we ask is that you have that you've graduated from high school, and if you haven't graduated from high school, that you have a GED. I mean, but honestly, again, we want everyone to apply. If you don't have your GED, come on out to Oakton and we'll help you get your GED. So we want everyone. And as I was able to share at the ward night, our eldest applicant right now is 74 years old. So there is no age range. We actually had a situation where a potential scholar who was coming from senior in high school came out to one of our community nights, and then his dad also signed up and said, hey, why not? You know, maybe I could do something here too. So coming out, everybody.
That's amazing. Amber, Jamie, do you have any questions or comments at this point?
I think this is awesome. I'm just like smiling. This is amazing. My question is actually on the screen, so I'll kind of wait, but this is amazing work. It's just amazing to hear, and I definitely would want my sons to be a part of this. So
I'm happy to hear it. I'm so happy to hear it. So in terms of the cost of the program, and then Jamie, I'm happy to take your question. Participants in the program are fully funded. And so what we mean by that is when you apply to the Academy, and if you're interested in one of our programs, which I'm about to show on the next screen, then we will work with you to make sure that cost is not a barrier. And so while we do ask you to fill out the FAFSA, and we will ask you to fill out the Oakton general application, if we have a scholar who satisfies one of these criteria, who is not eligible for financial aid, for example, who's not eligible for one of our scholarships, we will still work with them. We do not want cost to be a barrier. Jamie, can I take your question now, or did I answer it?
You definitely answered it, because sometimes when you think of like going to school, sometimes there can be a lot of barriers, and it kind of makes people feel like, I don't know. So to know that you guys are willing to work with all different types of situations is amazing. So yes, you did. Thank you.
Of course, my pleasure. So I'm going to actually skip the services for a second to go to the programs, because this is really one of the primary eligibility requirements. The Academy is designed to support students who are interested in transferring to a four-year school or another college, as well as who are interested in going into the workforce immediately after they finish at Oakton. So if you're interested in transfer, then we will support you if you want to study computer science or engineering. But if you're interested in going immediately into the workforce after your time at Oakton, then we have law enforcement and criminal justice, business, marketing management, human services, accounting, and cannabis studies. But this really is kind of our limiting criteria, because we're not supporting all Black male scholars at this point, because within these programs, we're going to be offering some specialized support and programming. So we're starting with these 8 tracks for now. What kind of specialized support are we offering? Well, every single scholar who joins the Academy will work with a dedicated career and transfer coach. We want to make sure that everyone who comes to the Academy not only knows that they want to be in one of those 8 programs, but we also want to make sure they know what are the outcomes here. That we're not just going to school, but we're going to school for this type of job, for this employment. This is my possible earning potential. We want to make sure that this is right up front, because as we know, we're not just going to school to go to school. We want to get a job. We want to be able to support families. We want to be able to support ourselves. Every scholar will also have a dedicated care coordinator. So this is someone who's going to be working with them to coordinate our internal college support services, as well as our external services through community agencies. Part of why we're prioritizing Evanston and Skokie is there is a very rich network of community service agencies, and there's a rich network of people who are working with these scholars already. So we don't want to leave that. You bring that with you to Oakton, and then this care coordinator will make sure that they connect with those agencies so that we can continue that relationship. We will also make sure that you have dedicated support from our Learning Center. We don't want academics to also be a barrier. We want everyone to have an opportunity to succeed, and some of us may need a little bit of extra support. And this is not just for our brothers, this is not just for the Black male students, this is all of us, but we want to make sure that everyone can have that support, specifically in the academy. So we'll have a common study hall where we'll have study time together within the programs. We will also have support from the Learning Center, writing assistance, and other supports. And so then the last kind of specialized program that we'll offer are these structured cohort experiences. So actually, no, step back. I'm getting too excited here. So the faculty who are working with the academy and who are helping us to develop the academy are listed here. All of these faculty identify as Black or African American, and all of these faculty will have an opportunity to interact with our scholars. We want to make sure that our scholars are not walking around campus, as we heard from our focus groups, never seeing a Black face in class. That is really messed up. That, I mean, there were scholars who spent their entire time at Oakton and they weren't in class with other Black students and they did not see a Black faculty member. I mean, just imagine how isolating that can be if you already feel like you're not really supposed to be in this space and you're not seeing anyone that looks like you. So one of the main things our program wants to do is to disrupt that. We want them to feel supported and to see not only those around them, their peers who look like them, but also the practitioners look like them. So they know what they're aspiring to, and they also know who's with them. So it's a nice community surrounding them. Another high point of the program are these stackable credentials. So we want to maximize the potential of our scholars, and we also want to maximize the investments. So every scholar along our track, specifically, especially in that workforce track, the main degree that they're working towards is an Associate of Applied Science, an associate's degree. That is a 2-year degree if the scholars can go full time. But we are arranging the courses without any extra courses and no extra credits so that along the way, they will also get certificates that will make them more marketable. So after their first year, if they're interested in marketing, for example, they will earn a marketing certificate. This certificate will get you employed. It will get you a job by itself. And so if a scholar were to walk away and say, that's cool, I'm good, I just want this job, no more, that's cool. Because you are a success outcome. You have a job because you have this certificate. But then if they stay for that third semester, there's another certificate that they'll get, this digital marketing certificate. And then if they stay for the 2 years, they walk away with their associates. And so 3 degrees in the span of 2 years that they will be able to walk away with from their time in the academy. No extra classes, no extra credits, all just built into the program. Wow. Can I take any questions at this point? I mean, I feel like we've been talking for a bit.
Yeah, I think Amber wanted to jump in and ask a question or just make.
Yes, I'm so excited about this only because I do have a 22-year-old Black male that needs some guidance. And then I have also a 15-year-old Black male that might need some guidance. And, you know, I feel like this program, because of course people don't know what it's like being a Black male. Mm-hmm. And I feel like with this guidance and all the support that you guys are offering, it just sets them up for success and not failure. I don't even know what it's like being a Black male. So, you know, I'm really excited about this. And as soon as we get off of community coffee, I'm about to go yell in my son's ear, you need to apply for this, brother. This is what we're doing. So I'm excited.
I'm very happy to have come on this show because I feel like we have 2 potential scholars just from between you, Jamie, and you, Amber. We will definitely follow up. And if I can also just kind of speak to that, as a Black male, as someone who has been in these spaces, I know what it's like to be the only one. I mean, I'm sure Dr. Howard could speak to this too, though he's coming from a different experience with the HBCUs. But for me, I was in a predominantly white institution for all of my career. So, I mean, I was a math major on top of that. So I was in class where I would have my 8 o'clock Cal 3 class, and I was the only one. There was no one else in that class. And then I would go to my next class, and I was the only one because we were all taking our classes together. And I mean, I was lucky to have support networks outside of school. But I mean, without that, I don't know where I would have been. So, I mean, when I'm doing this program, I'm thinking about me. I mean, I really am thinking about what could I have used when I was in school.
And Mario brings up a good point. Everybody doesn't have the support system. We're still dealing with first generation college students in 2022. So first generation college students don't know necessarily how to complete a college application, how to complete a FAFSA, how to select classes. If I'm having difficulties, who do I talk to? I'm at an institution. What are my support systems at the institution to help me succeed? As Mario mentioned, it may be just as something as having an African-American faculty member teaching your class to help you along the way. Say, hey, I'm here to help you. These are the support systems we have. Here are some additional support systems that you may not be aware of, like our tutoring center and other support student services and things that we offer. Maybe you're having an issue with transportation. Who do I go and talk to about that? As Mario mentioned, we want to make sure that these scholars have that support all the way through, even before, as I mentioned earlier, of that completing the application, working through those forms and having those documents in. And also once they are in the academy and accepted to the academy, how do they select the classes, or prior to, how do they select the classes? How do they get their textbooks? So on and so forth. So we want to just make sure, again, that they have the best experience. Why? Because many times if they can get to that first semester and be successful, then success of the second semester, the third semester, so on and so forth. And also they will also want to share those positive experiences with people in their community and people that they know. So that's why we want to really make sure that they have a good experience. But as I mentioned earlier, we want to make sure not only they have the intellectual capital, but we want to make sure in the community that they are connecting with that social capital as well, and be able to gather that and be able to be productive citizens along the way and outside of the classroom.
So one other, I guess the second to last benefit we'll discuss in terms of the academy are these cohort courses. So every scholar in the academy will take at least one class together. And so these are some of the classes that they'll be taking. And what I would highlight here are courses such as Intro to African American Literature, African American History, History of Ancient Modern Africa, African American Culture and the Arts. So these are courses that already exist at Oakton, but again, we want to optimize their experience. So we made sure that we built these courses into their schedules. So not only could they take them and they count towards their programs, but they can all take them together. And so they'll be taking them in sequence. And then within their individual programs, so all my marketing students, all my business students, all my engineering students, all their classes will be together. And so that way they'll have that kind of that smaller community within the actual program. And then I will turn it back over to Dr. Howard, who will discuss our transition support.
Now, as Mario mentioned, we talked about students that want to either transfer directly into the workforce or transfer to a four-year institution. This slide talks about students that are working towards transfer. So in those particular programs, and we talked about computer science and engineering, we talked about those particular programs and those students that want to transfer to a four-year college. We want to make sure that transitioning to those four-year college is a seamless process. We want to have a warm handoff to those colleges that we have articulation agreements with. And then we want to make sure that we provide any kind of assistance if there's assistance available. Many times transfer students qualify for transfer scholarships. So again, there's paperwork involved with that. We want to make sure that students understand when that paperwork is due, and also have that long-term plan in place and having those discussions early. We don't want to wait for them to finish the program and then say, hey, well, I want to transfer. We want to have those discussions earlier so we can have that warm transfer or warm handoff. When we start talking about students that want to go into the immediate workforce, as Mario mentioned, a credential, a certificate is actually a credential of value for for many employers. And so just having that certificate is very important. That's why those certificates are stackable. We understand that life happens along the way, or can happen along the way. I think all of us can give a specific point in life that life has happened. What makes the community college different and what makes this program different is that we have stackable credentials within those programs. So in case life happens, or if they say, hey, I've completed my objective. I want to go directly into the workforce. I like to work in these particular industries. Those certificates will make them more employable than just their high school diploma. And what those employers are looking for, that minimum level. I can tell you in contrast to an individual that may have gone to a traditional four-year college in their first year. So their first year, they've taken a variety of classes, but they haven't completed anything. And those variety of classes doesn't necessarily lead them to a stackable certificate or a certificate of completion. And that certificate of completion is what those employers are at least looking for instead of those variety of classes that they may have taken without having to complete anything. And then we want to match those, again, scholars up with in particular employers that we have relationships with, and also there'll be opportunities for internships during employment as well. So I know we've talked about a lot of information, but the very first thing is, how can someone get started? There's an interest form on our website. There's a QR code here, but how they get to the website and the webpage is www.oakton.edu/academy. That takes you to our main webpage, and we would like for those individuals that are interested to complete that interest form. That interest form will have just some basic information, their name, their address, their email address, and a good phone number of contact to contact them. And also that will allow us to connect back with everyone that's completed their interest form. So that's the first thing that we're asking individuals. If you're interested, you can do that. You can also call me. My phone number is 847-635-1807. Again, 847-635-1807. That way I can connect with you as well. And we also have an email address, oamb@oakton.edu. That's oamb@oakton.edu. So there are a variety of ways that you can get in contact with myself or either Mario, where we can talk to you more. We also have been conducting community information nights, as Kim mentioned earlier. And this is our way of connecting directly with the community. So our next community information night is Thursday, April 14th. It's going to be at the Robert Crown Center. That is a collaboration with the city of Evanston for us to be able to have that community information night. So thanks to the city of Evanston for partnering with us to bring this information to the community. We're also going to have one Tuesday, April 19th from 6:30 to 8 o'clock on the Oakton Community College campus. This is a great opportunity for our African-American men and parents and community members, if you've never been to Oakton, to come and actually come to the Oakton campus. So this is a great opportunity. We're having that at the Skokie campus. And then we're going back to Evanston Township High School on Wednesday, May 4th from 5 to 7 o'clock. What we're asking, if you're interested in any of these particular community information nights, that you please register if possible so we can have a good idea about how many people will be attending, because we will be providing refreshments during that time. So, but we'll be giving a similar presentation, but we'll also be there to collect information. And actually, if a person wants to complete an application on site, we'll be able to do that too, as well as the interest form. So it's important. This information is important. Again, we are excited to talk to as many people as we can to help get the word out about the Emory Williams Academy for Black Men. I know that if you have any questions, Mario and I will be glad to answer any questions. But again, I want to say just thank you to Kim and Carmen and to Radio La Difference and all of our advocates for giving us this platform. This is a great opportunity. We just want to make sure that as many people as we know about this great opportunity.
Thank you. Thank you both so much. I have one last question, and then I'll see if Amber and Jamie and then have questions, and then we'll wrap up for the day. So you mentioned the transfer opportunities to four-year colleges. Are any of those colleges HBCUs?
Yes, and developing. So we actually do have one relationship right now, but it's not the most formal with Morgan State, but we are continuing to formalize relationships with more HBCUs. And actually one of the questions that we ask the scholars as they apply is, where would you want to go? because we see this as an opportunity. So if I have a scholar that wants to go to Howard, then you know what, we'll make it happen. I can't say I can guarantee it, but we'll work towards it.
Thank you so much. Amber, Jamie, any last thoughts or questions?
I just want to say this was awesome, so much information, and I have like 5 people in mind that I know would definitely benefit from this great program. So thank you guys. Thank you for your time and the information.
And for me, be looking out for my inquiry form with my son, because
Excellent.
I definitely, and you know, I'm going to push him. I'm going to be involved a little bit to get the ball rolling. So you'll be hearing from me, definitely.
Let me just say, we're here to help. Again, as was mentioned in those earlier slides, when we talk to the community, not only do we want to build trust, we want to be able to communicate the value that not only Oakton Community College has, but this Emory Williams Academy for Black men. And what a fantastic way to honor not only his legacy, but to give this type of opportunity where we're supporting all of our scholars all throughout the way of their program.
Awesome. Well, thank you both so much for joining us today. If there's anyone listening or watching us on Facebook and you know someone who might be interested in this program, please send them to their way. And we thank you all for being with us. Have a great Saturday.
Thank you for the time.
Thank you.
Have a great Saturday, everybody.
To Evanston Cradle to Career Advocates for Action on Radio La Difference. Please stay tuned for the announcement of our next series of Community Coffee. Congratulations to Taishi and Nix for being the advocate in the spotlight.
You're showing us the way.